Hi, I'm Sister Mark. I'm an Episcopal nun from Enumcara Fellowship,
And I'm Lane William Brown, and I am an atheist.
and we're both bookworms.
Such bookworms. And this is Lectio Fictina, where we take our favorite lines from our favorite books and think about how they apply to our world, our lives, and how we can use them to grow.
We are currently reading Good Omens, which is a novel about the apocalypse, and much funnier than that makes it sound. It's about the angel and the demon from Genesis who've been on Earth together for millennia and become buds, and the Antichrist, who's a kid in a small town in England, and the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and just a huge cast of characters. And it's definitely worth your time to read the whole thing.
So, would you read the passage that you chose for this week?
Yes, and I'm going to read it with context.
All right.
So you get the whole paragraph.
Woohoo.
The arrangement was very simple. So simple, in fact, that it really didn't deserve the capital letter, which it had got for simply being in existence for so long. It was the sort of sensible arrangement that many isolated agents, working in awkward conditions a long way from their superiors, reach, with their opposite number, when they realize that they have more in common with their immediate opponents than their remote allies. It meant a tacit non-interference in certain of each other's activities. It made certain that while neither really won, also neither really lost, and both sides were able to demonstrate to their masters the great strides they were making against a cunning and well-informed adversary. It meant that Crowley had been allowed to develop Manchester, while Aziraphale had a free hand in the whole of Shropshire. Crowley took Glasgow, Aziraphale had Edinburgh. Neither claimed any responsibility for Milton Keynes, but both reported it as a success. Note for Americans and other aliens. Milton Keynes is a new city approximately halfway between London and Birmingham. It was built to be modern, efficient, healthy, and all in all a pleasant place to live. Many Britons find this amusing.
I love that part.
Yes.
I'm so glad you chose it because I
Excellent.
was torn between the one I chose and that one.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, what it makes me think about is actually a movie, which is based on a book that I haven't read, Russia House, about a book editor who becomes a spy and then falls in love with someone he's supposed to spy on. And he has a line about choosing honor over ideology, which in his mind means doing things that are right, even if it's not, the patriotic thing that his superiors are telling him to do. And, the arrangement, when you think about it, really does reflect the same kind of mentality because, on the surface, maybe Crowley's being a little bit better because he's not, he's letting the angel do his thing, but the angel's being so bad because he's letting people be like evilified and
Tempted.
yes, and being inconvenienced by phone lines being tangled up. This is the kind of thing that Crowley does.
Yeah. He's a big picture kind of demon.
Yeah. Tie up the entire phone lines for an hour during lunch and just everybody gets a little bit of evil spread around. I digress. Anyways, but as you get into the book, you see that it's the angels and the demons really aren't fundamentally that different. They're both very strict within their own groups and very aggressive to people who are outside, and they don't really seem super invested in things that are objectively going to make the world a better or worse place. They just want to beat the other guys. So in forming this arrangement, Crowley and Aziraphale are actually developing a more genuine kind of loving relationship, which is a lot more in spirit with, what people like you would say Christianity is really all about.
Loving your neighbor and being good to others. And that kind of thing rather than a formal list of commandments.
It's the kind of thing a person like me can get behind even without buying into the whole,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know.
Yeah, you do know. You're by Aziraphale.
Oh, Crowley. Just don't set your car on fire.
We're not there yet. All right.
Someday. We promise. My turn?
Your turn.
Okay. So when I read this, and the reason I picked it was I also had a movie in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie was Joyeux Noel. And sorry if you speak French, my pronunciation is probably terrible. I am fluent in German. But the movie is about a historical event during World War I. It's the Christmas truce, which I think a lot of people are familiar with because it makes a good story. And what happened, in case you are not familiar with it, is that on Christmas, the British and German troops stationed in trenches across from each other stopped fighting, and they called a truce and spent Christmas Day hanging out and playing soccer and singing Christmas carols and getting to know each other. And they found what Crowley and Aziraphale find, which is that you have more in common with somebody who's in the same situation you are, even if your politics are different or your nationality is different. And so they end up with really quite a lot of sympathy for each other because both sides know what it's like to be shot at, they know what it's like to be homesick, they know what it's like to be cold and uncomfortable and living in the trenches, which their officers don't necessarily because they're at home or at headquarters and they're warm and dry and clean and they can be in touch with their families. And so I think Crowley and Aziraphale are going through and they have the millennia to work out more or less formally what people often find when we get to know each other, which is even if we don't think that we're very similar, we've really got a lot in common, and that we can understand each other just by virtue of being in the same situation, no matter how different we think we are.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good movie and you should watch it. That's heartwarming.
Yeah.
Early December, sit down with this movie and a hot chocolate and cry a little.
Yes. So for this video, you've got 3 recommendations. You've got read Good Omens,
Yes.
watch Russia House, and watch Giant Noel.
Yeah.
Right.
We're giving you homework. Oh gosh.
All right. So for next week, we will still be reading some Good Omens, and it will be back to a passage that I pick, and I think that'll do it for this video.
Yeah, and you've got lots of homework to do in the meantime, right? Until next time, have a beautiful week.
And keep overthinking shit.